doing a handstand again. Come on. Just bite. Just bite. Make my life so difficult. He's all over it.
Get it, Gary.
There we go.
Get your life
All
right,
over
Gary.
it. Swimming laps. Look at this. This fish knows acrobatics, son. Oh my God. This dude's doing underwater flips on this thing. Between the topwater fish doing backflips in the air and this fish doing backflips underwater, this lake has got some crazy fish. Come on. He's thinking real hard about it. I know I can catch him. I just don't know. Hit him, piss him off a little bit, see if he... Oh, now he's over here. Oh, he's going back. Back on it.
A guy that's rocketed up the leaderboard today from 13th place, John Hookup Soakup,
Really can't
co-owner of the Bass Tank. We caught up with John to explain what the Bass Tank is. Check in with the hookup himself, John Soakup.
Hey everyone, John Soakup, NPFL Pro and co-owner of the Bass Tank. The Bass Tank is an electronics accessory installation national shipping shop. We sell Garmin, Lowrance, Humminbird. We've been known for really focusing on the niche of the forward shooting sonar, like the live scopes, the active targets, and things of that nature. We've been able to take those skill sets and kind of put them on display with the NPFL, winning the first UFOLO event with live scope. You know, we've always been fishermen, but the creation of the Bass Tank actually came from a basic problem that I had. In 2018, I was at the Forest Wood Cup, and I actually broke down at the Forest Wood Cup because of improper installation, and it came from the manufacturer on down. And simply put, the industry as a whole has kind of accepted, you know, bad quality of installation when it comes to electronics. And as the electronics industry pushes and creates more demand, more amperage, more things like that, there's a gap between what's actually being put out there from the manufacturer. And so there's a niche, there's a need that someone specializes in electronics. We're all fishermen. We fish professionally. Every single one of us fish to some manner. So we understand the fishermen, but we also are very skilled. My partner, Scott Palmer, is actually an engineer. So everything we do is engineer backed, and we're also backed by, you know, being able to field test things. And that's usually what I'm doing is I'm out there breaking things and Scott's behind the scenes fixing things. And so we know exactly how to take on a customer when they have a need of any kind. And I think everybody knows that when you're spending the kind of money that we're spending on boats and equipment, you know, everybody wants it to work. You don't want to break down in the Forest Wood Cup like I did because it wasn't installed right. And so we bring that same passion to each and every one of our customers for any of your electronics needs. We ship nationwide, we have financing, And we also have the best installation in the business. No shortcuts, it's done right, or it's not done at all. So you can find us at thebasstank.com. You can call us, 918-509-7864. You can find us on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube.
Welcome back to Anderson, South Carolina, Lake Hartwell. Got our number 1 and number 2 anglers here unofficially. As we get into the later part of day 2 here, Mike Corbishley, Brandon Perkins. Working similar yet different programs a little bit. I've seen Mike focus more on bedding fish this afternoon, which was something he said that he would kind of fall back to if he had to. He was working that point program really hard on day 1. Told me last night that he wasn't anticipating having to bed fish too much, but we've seen a lot of that this afternoon.
A lot of that, yeah.
Mike.
Well, dude, what's been eye-opening for me too, maybe folks at home, when I hear sight fishing, automatically think bed fishing.
Mm-hmm.
That hasn't been the case here. Although they have been catching them off bid sight fishing,
Yeah.
but like you said, a lot of guys doing.
Yeah, Mike's definitely, been bed fishing a little bit this afternoon, but I mean, Perkins just these wolf packs, and Mike's been
Yeah,
focused on
Buck
the wolf
Mallory
pack
as
with
well,
the top
you know.
waters, and yeah.
Casting by sight.
Mike's been working this fish for a while now. Thinks it'll help him a 3-pounder. Swing and a miss. They ever bite once, though, boy. It's trouble. I will say this about Brandon Perkins.
What do
He
you
has been one rod Todd.
Man,
Other than one topwater fish we saw him in Carolina early this morning, it's about 9 o'clock. My man has been Mr. Magdraft.
hunting for hog heads, man. Just trying to get that big belly Kelly into fully loaded live well.
Biting every cast.
Now look, here's the thing. This is not a numbers game.
Boy, Jim.
The biggest 5 fish are all that matters. So if you only get 5 bites,
boy, Blue.
guess what?
That's right.
It doesn't matter. As long as you get them in the boat, and they weigh more than the next guy. So certainly the strategy Perkins is going after, just trying
I'm
to catch that
interested in
meat.
knowing. I want to know what that one fish, how it's making out that he was having issues with earlier.
Oh,
Did he fizz it? Did he put clips on it? How's it doing?
playing games. Oh, yeah, come on.
Showing the juice. You look at that
He said, "I
mag
hate
draft
this thing."
minus the mag.
I hate this thing so much. And all I'll do is pick it up by the tails and move it because I'm too scared to put the whole thing in my mouth.
Oh, Gary.
Come on.
This might be Garrett. Gary's little brother.
I'm waiting for my bait to disappear. That's why I changed to white. It's like, you see, I mean, I don't know if you can see this. Y'all can see this, but literally, he just picks it up, moves it. He's like, yeah, nah.
What'd you name him?
This is Jim. It's Jim. Jim just picks it up. He says, that looks nice and all, but I respect its distance. What is that, that thing? I don't even remember what video it's from. It's like, I think you're pretty neat, but I respect your distance. Oh, hit it, Jim. Hit it, Jim. Hit it there, Jimmy. Come on now, yeah.
Crow got mad at it.
Are we looking at two of the most
This
funnest
is
ways to catch
so-
fish?
No,
Bread
for
fishing
sure.
and top water.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. It doesn't get any better.
He's got it.
Oh, no, he's been there for a while. It's all right. They bite once, they'll bite twice. Might just take him a little bit longer now. Jim said not today, Sadie.
That's why I don't bed fish. Might have helped me about a pound, probably. Probably about a pound.
Word on the street, Jim, not a Fat Cat fan.
Not a fact.
Not a Fat Cat fan.
Not a Mike Corbishley fan either, apparently.
Obviously not.
Or a Fighting Frog fan. Actually, he was a fan of the Fighting Frog.
He's not a fan of that 4-alt right now.
No,
he's
he's
over there
not.
smacking his lips going, what just happened? He'll bite again.
Every now and then, fish like that. I was fishing a Toyota Series one time on Santee Cooper, where I flipped in on a bed. All right, I lost the fish, and it was like I was working on another fish. My co-angler casted back within a minute of me losing that fish and caught him. So I've seen crazier things, but I seriously doubt that he will keep playing games with me. Probably needs a minute anyway. I could probably come back and catch him in a bit. But he's swimming real wide now. He's like, I'm not interested in that bed. Let's see if he does anything. That would be crazy if he did bite. I highly doubt it.
The old Perkins perched up.
Unless his old female just comes out of nowhere and locks on, that'd be even cooler, honestly. He's still there. He's just a little on the spooky side. Yeah, he's...
The Perkins perch.
One.
That's just majestic right there, isn't it? He's just on point.
I want to touch on that real quick because he's
more.
talking. I don't want to talk over him.
That's all I want. Does that seem all grady and stuff?
This time of year, we see guys fish like that up there around their electronics, and they might rest on them. But in the comments, people, I can't believe you're standing on your electronics. You got to realize they're not standing on the electronics. They might be using it for balance, but they're not putting all their weight on these expensive electronics. For the folks at home that might have that misconception, that's not what they're doing. They're not putting all their weight on electronics. They're standing on the bow of the boat and may have their foot rested up there just for balance.
Oh, geez. There's giants everywhere on this thing.
One thing about me, I can assure you, you won't ever see me standing up on anything in the boat.
Oh, yeah.
Not exactly agile like a cat.
That's a big.
Agile
Like
like a
you.
dairy cow.
Yes. I'll end up in the drink quick.
Catch. Do your thing.
There he goes. Yep, just for balance. Long cast. Man, that water is so skinny, man.
And clear.
Very. Like you touched on earlier when we looked inside the live wells, it was bath water. And you said that's always a good sign to know that you're fishing around.
Oh yeah, you can tell what your watercolor is. You look in those wells. Caught him one rod Todd, and he picked up the
top water.
top water again.
He's trying to find something to stand on, isn't he? Corbishley.
Well,
I can see him getting up on the motor cow.
Oh yeah. Again, another spot you won't find myself
I'm gonna
ever.
catch one slipping. I can't tell if that's a fish in that tree over there.
The thing with Mike now, we talked about bedfish becoming more personal. On the last one that he caught, it did, and he finally got the boat cold for him. But this one now, he hooked it and lost it, but he saw it out of the water, so he knows how much it's going to help him. He's got that in the back of his mind. He said it would help him a
Oh,
pound.
so-
That's significant, especially
You're
the way
not leaving. Yeah.
Yeah, the way it's stacked up, like that pound is crucial.
So now you wonder, like, how much time does he give it to see if it sets back up? And as a general rule for me,
There goes a little old lazy 3-pounder right there. Yeah, run the other way. Too lame.
as a general rule, when those bedfish, even when you lose them, I've broken them off, hooks in them, you know, swing and miss, whatever. Have a bad spot in your line, break them off. I've done it as many as like 2 times and still come back and caught the fish. So they bite once, if they get aggressive enough, now they will. It stings them. They'll get swirly for a second. But Mike was talking there. I have thrown back in there and caught them the next cast because they're so mad. As long as you don't stick them bad, you know. Right. Of course, that fish jumped and he had it stuck. Right. But they will bite again. It just takes some time. I wonder
what those are.
Which Mike doesn't know what he has compared to everybody else, really. He knows he's in good
4
shape.
4 or 5 of them are bass for sure.
You wonder.
That's a gar.
Yes, that fish will help him a pound today.
I mean, biggins.
But you got another day coming up. Sure. Do you go, all right, I'm just going to wait.
Jeez.
It's late in the day. Maybe nobody finds it. Roll the dice, come back to it tomorrow. Then you got a 3-pounder in the box to start the day, 3 or 4 pounder, whatever the case is. You know, it's a
gamble too, because you got so many more people are going to be on the water tomorrow, and you're full field tomorrow. Do you leave that one there?
So
it probably depends on what you got in the box too, right?
Holy crap! Please.
Perkins is stressing me out.
He'll pour his heart out to him.
Is that a gar or a bass? That's a gar. That's a gar. It's a gar. He wanted it. There is giants. That's a 5-pounder. It's great.
You know, you wonder, this mag draft, we've seen it work, but then you got a guy like Jesse Wise that's fishing a very similar pattern, and he's got that spinning rod out.
Doing that wacky
slick,
worm.
calm day, and we've seen him make it work on those wacky worm, those wolf pack fish with the wacky worm. And you just wonder, some of these that he's seeing, not to armchair quarterback it, but do you keep force feeding that mag draft, or do you pick up a spinning rod? Now, I like the all in for the win, knowing the mag draft's going to catch a big one. But if you pitch that wacky worm over there and a 5-pounder sucks it in, you ain't going to complain about having to fight it on a spinning rod. You know what I mean?
That's right. I'm with you.
But you look, no wind. Like there's 0 wind. It is so slick.
Perkins just seems like the kind of guy, talking to him being a coach and being serious and taking things very serious. I got a taste of it last year. We were at Tennessee, and he had a camera, and we were at launch. And I wanted to pre-interview him and get close to him. So the boat taking me was David Allen, and Brandon gave him, look at that, give him a shout out. Nice, dude. That's, couldn't have, perfect. But he was very specific on how you approached his boat, how you lined up and everything. So what I'm getting at is with Perkins,
I think that was Drew.
he sticks to the plan.
And he had a camera this morning.
Yeah, they moved one camera off a boat.
They did?
They did. I don't know which boat.
He must have been more boring than me.
Because somebody was picking up the heat, so they moved the camera.
Oh, thought that one was gonna eat it. Did you see it? You need these glasses.
I do.
Some of them's little suckers like carp, but the one that just I thought was gonna eat it was a bass.
Need them polarized glasses out there.
Show.
think that's James Watson up there mowing the grass.
No, he's not mowing his grass. He's paying somebody to mow his grass.
I don't know, gas is expensive. He had to drive from Missouri to Hartwell. Maybe cutting some grass on the road.
Watson's
from
somewhere
extra
eating lunch
funds.
right now. You can believe that. He ain't cutting no grass. He's laid up in the shade, son.
I don't get it.
He's gonna have a whole album by the time this thing is over with.
Tomorrow I'll start catching, it'll be the remix.
Yeah, yeah. Do a little collab.
Never lost a fish fight. That's what I say about Brandon Perkins. Maybe yesterday.
Quit my job because my boss is a jerk. Rather be fishing than going to work. Don't get me started.
The Perkins perch. Somebody make a t-shirt of that.
Yeah, there it is.
Stat.
There's a John Normo, like a 5-6 pounder.
That's all he's been seeing. He's in the lake.
This is his
He's in the
entire
right
day.
spot. He's in
Oh,
there.
there's 5,
3 of them.
there's a 6, there's a 4. 15-3.
I'm excited to see what happens tomorrow. Or the rest of the day, because you figure we're about to go off and they get to keep fishing.
Our day is winding down here, but a lot of these guys have a
Good
lot
night.
of time left. See, I don't think that's Gary. John Ormo's not Gary.
That's Jim.
These suckers ain't trying to eat nothing.
Jimmy boy.
That might be Big Samantha.
Mike's. Ooh. What's going on right now? Oh, 52 fake out. He repositioned on that fish. He's on top of it now. He'll get him.
Split screen look at number 1 and number 2 unofficially right now. Mike Corbishley, Brandon Perkins. And B, that's kind of how our day started with these guys. They got off to a quick start, both of them, with some fireworks. We saw Mike with a 5-pounder this morning. Some stripers came up schooling. He was able to get his topwater in the middle of them. 5-pound largemouth eats it. And will that be the difference maker going into day 3? Right now, it looks like it.
Right now, but dude, where Perkins is around him. I think he's going to get that 5 before today's over with.
Oh, for
You
sure.
know, like we've talked about, you need, and Watson said, he's in the right spot. It's just convincing him. I can see the frustration. I can hear it in you. Like, Perkins, what are you doing, man?
Well, it's so, I love sight fishing so much, and we've been sitting here watching it all day long, and there are, he wants them to bite that mag draft so bad, and once they've seen it a few times, like I said, sometimes they get a little gun shy to it. So you wonder, you see a guy like Jesse Wise, he's got that spinning rod in hand, he's picking out those fish he's seeing cruising, he's making a bite. Buck did it yesterday with a drop shot.
Right.
Talked to some other guys on the phone that were just outside of our top 10 last night. They did the same, spinning rod finesse, but in the similar situation. So you wonder, man, you just make just a little subtle bait change. Does he get one of these to bite? Because there are so many. It's been a broken record with Perkins all day long. He's looking over here. There's a 4. There's a 5. Oh my gosh, that looks like a 6. That's the John Normo. We've seen it. We've seen him on the mag draft though. Not only catch some, we've seen some track it down, miss it. We have seen it.
There were cases where he didn't know that fish was there until he brought that mag draft by that piece of structure, which brought it out.
So I understand he's really, really confident in that bait this week. He had never thrown it prior to this week, which I find very interesting, that he's locked that thing in his hand. But he's fishing for big bites. And look, unofficially in second place, so what do we know? We don't know anything, right?
Yeah. Well, apparently nobody knows anything because we took the camera out of the boat of Drew 6. As soon as we took the camera out of Drew 6's boat, he decided that he's ready to do work.
Skyrockets. And really, we set the story this morning with Drew, mainly bed fishing. Looked like it was really slowing down for him. They were leaving. They weren't the size that he caught yesterday because he had 17 pounds. They all came off the bed. And he told me last night, I've got more big ones. Well, The first 3 or 4 we saw him post up on this morning were small fish, right? So I was confused in that. Well, maybe his bigger one's left, and he said that. He alluded to that. We move a camera because Jesse Wise is cracking on him. Drew's like, hey, I'll show you guys. Settles in, catches a good bag. He's going to be unofficially right there in our top 5 towards the end of the day. We'll see at the drive-through weigh-in, but he's definitely in the mix still.
No doubt about it, dude. It's cool to see that. I just wonder if it's that dynamic of just maybe having the camera in the back of the boat or getting that out of there and just moving on and getting back in the zone and getting to the good fish. Start on the bad ones, like you said, or whatever the case may be, and then that quality came as a
trying to get a limit. That's what he did yesterday. Got a limit earlier and called up. But let's take a look at this unofficial leaderboard. You keep hearing this reference. The Way Live app is so important to tell the story. Our anglers are highly, we poke them a little bit. Suggest,
we aggressively persuade them.
Headlocks. Hey guys, please enter your estimated weight. So this is all very unofficial until they get to Green Pond this afternoon. Drive-through weigh-in with Big Al McCullough. But right now, Mike Corbishley sitting on top. We just left him sitting on a bedding fish that he lost, that he said would upgrade him by a pound. So, no telling what this will look like by the end of the day, but Mike right there unofficially in first. But look, Drew 6 has overtaken Brandon Perkins, man. Unofficially. We swapped cameras out with Jesse Wise and Drew 6, but Drew got off to himself, started catching some betters there, looks like. Unless he ventured away from that pattern, I don't think he would have. He was locked in on the side.
And like you said, he had 400 waypoints.
That's right.
Yeah. Of all beds, he was saying he finally got on. He got on them.
That's right. So it looks like we might get to talk to Drew again tomorrow.
I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, yeah.
He may say, get the camera out of here for Showdown Saturday. Who knows? We drug him down this morning a little bit, the big cat and I did. But Drew 6 making a charge there. Brandon Perkins, Bryant Smith slowly creeping up. We're very used to seeing Bryant, the California kid, in the top 10. We covered him so many times last year. Would not surprise me to see him in the hunt towards the end of the year for Progressive AOI at all. Buck Mallory, one of our co-leaders from yesterday. In 5th, John Sokup. In 6th place, Kevin Rogers. Jesse Wise, who's made a big charge today from down in the 50s all the way up into our unofficial top 10 with a great day. Jesse Millsaps, a sight fishing guru from down around Lake Lanier, is really getting to put those eyes to work this week on the bedfish. And Josh Teat started the day in 13th place, has slid up into the unofficial top 10 going into these final few minutes of live here. Pretty tight day again.
It's crazy what's going on right now. And just seeing everybody shift and move around, all the bebopping and flip-flopping 24-55
That's
while
right.
we're in here running our lips and shaking our hips. It's crazy. But the Progressive AOI, we talked about it, how you can't win it at the first event, but you can lose it at the first event.
You can stub your toe, and we saw some favorites stub their toes there at Cumberland.
Certainly
Not
did.
a hard event to stub your toe at, though. Granted, weather shortened event. You got one day to get it done, and if you didn't get it done, sorry, get on home. So the Progressive AOI will start to take shape more after this event. We get a look there. Of course, that's the standings from Cumberland there. Taylor Watkins dropping bombs in first place, but Josh McDermott, that's a name we've seen a lot today in the mix.
Well, absolutely. Seen it in the mix today. He had that good second place finish at Cumberland, and he's just kept that momentum going right into the second event.
No doubt about it. Jeff Dobson, Todd Goad, a local here at Hartwell. Todd Goad having a good event. He's catching them again today.
Also said something at the first round table before this, saying that 15 pounds a day could win this tournament. We were all like, oh, I don't know.
Get
but
out
the
of
closer
here.
we get to it, he was kind of close.
He's a prophet. He's
Absolutely.
a prophet. He had almost 14 pounds yesterday, so he's going to be in the mix going into Showdown Saturday as well. Jesse Wise right there. Could be your Angler of the Year leader after this event, the way it's shaping up. Dale Prinky, Ryan Davidson, Craig Burwell, Jeff Barth, Taylor Umlin rounding out your Progressive AOI top 10. Of course, that's based on one event. Everything will start to take shape as we click off these events in this 6-event season. This being the second event here, and what an event it's been so far. Big Cat, I'm having a good time watching these guys. It's driving me crazy. I want to be setting the hook.
Buddy,
like
we just got to watch split green with bedding and top water. I mean,
doesn't get a lot better than that.
Good living.
Does not get a lot better than this. You want to make sure that you watch that drive-through weigh-in this afternoon. Starts at 3:30. Big Al McCullough is going to put them on the scales. They're going to drive everybody through. If you're close to the Green Pond landing area over there in Anderson, South Carolina, go out and see the guys. Meet the anglers. Go out, check the weigh-in out. There's going to be a lot of fish coming in. We've gotten word of a Big Bite Challenge Big Bass that could cause some fireworks. A big Billy Kelly.
Big Belly Kelly, it's a real big, unofficially,
we're
but
gonna
you're knocking on the door of number 7.
You're gonna want to watch that this afternoon. We will be back live in the morning, 8 a.m. Eastern time, for more NPFL Live. We appreciate each and every one of you joining us today. I'm Luke Duncan. Got to thank my man Fat Cat for being in the studio, and James Watson out there on the water stirring things up, eating Vienna sausages and being Mr. Worldwide like he always is. We will see you guys tomorrow morning for more live action from Lake Hartwell, Anderson, South Carolina.
There's a big
Go.